Hello and welcome to the Newsletter System Secrets modules. These training modules are going to take you step by step through the systems that I use to be very successful in my market. And the newsletter is super important to your business and to my business. And the reason it is because it helps me to be a credible authority in my market. It helps me to establish expertise in my market. And it's something that I use on a monthly basis to keep in touch with my clients and prospective clients. So a lot of times in our resort markets, we get people that come in during spring break or Christmas or Thanksgiving or New Year's or Valentine's Day or whatever. Whenever they're here in your market and they might be very curious about real estate, they might reach out. You might get contacted by phone or email or text, or they may have said, "Hey, I saw your website and I'm curious. We'd like to look at some real estate." Whatever it is, and however you get that client to contact you, it's a great tool to cultivate that lead over many months or even years to continue to keep in touch with them, right? And send a mass email to people, but a very customized email that adds value, that shows that your level of knowledge and expertise and ability for people to get to know you, to like you, and to trust you by receiving this email. And so I've told this story before, but it's an important message that I have for you. And it's happened over and over in my business. First of all, if you've gone to a gala event, and I'm going to an event this evening, I was just at an event this summer here in my market. It's super busy. Almost every single day there is some kind of event that I could go to, and I pick and choose, but I try to go to the ones where I'm fishing in the pond, where I feel like my affluent clients are, and I'm aligned with the things that are important to them. So anyway, you go to a gala event, and I was at one last week, and it was the Land Trust Caddis Cup, which is a fly fishing tournament. It raises money for our land trust. And I had so many people come up to me during that event, and they said, "I just want you to know that I'm on your email distribution list, and I get your newsletter, and I really enjoy reading that, and I read every single word, and I go through and look at all your videos and all your content and all that information, and it's really great." And I always say the same thing. I say, "Well, I hope it's informative." And they say, "Oh, it is. I really enjoy, your market report, your newsletter. There's nobody that comes even close to what you do, and you are really at the top of your game, and I really appreciate that." And I always say, "Well, that's fantastic. I appreciate that. Is there anything I can do to help you in any way? Or do you have any friends or associates or family members that have a need?" It's okay to ask that. You've just been complimented. They just said you're the greatest. So it's okay to hit the ball back over the net and ask them that question, right? The other thing you can do is you can say, "Well, if there's anybody else that you think I might, send that to, or if you ever have any questions I can help you with, let me know," right? So this is another thing. I've been involved with a lot of nonprofits and get the opportunity to be exposed to a lot of people. And we have to be careful that we're sending emails to people with approval. But there's a lot of times that you might add somebody to your list, and you've gotten their email through a friend or an associate, and they get the opportunity to unsubscribe. And I always say, if you're adding value and you're giving them value, then it doesn't appear like you're not selling them or asking for the order, or being a pushy salesperson, and you're adding value, then people are going to enjoy receiving the content. If you give value up front, then you will get value in return. If you cast your bread upon the waters, it will come back to you, right? So I have had many people stop me on the street and say, "Hey, I'm not sure how I got on your email distribution list." And it could have been that they opted in on my website and they don't remember. Could have been they were referred by a friend. It could have been a number of different ways. But anyway, one of the things that I've found, and I've had a number of scenarios, but one in particular where I sat down with a client, and this was a couple, and I was a very affluent couple and a very prestigious couple in my market, and I went to their home, and they were wanting me to talk to them about listing their home. And the wife looked at me and she said, you know, you really wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. And I looked at him and I said, well, why is that? And he said, well, it's because of your newsletter and your market report. I've been receiving that for many years. And because of that, we've invited you to become our listing agent. And she was not happy with that decision. And it was clear that they weren't interviewing me. They were already had made a decision that I was going to get to be their listing agent. So I didn't, really have to go through a lot of my listing presentation. And I get that frequently. People, when I'm in a listing presentation meeting, I'll, tell me a little about your journey and where you are and what you're thinking, what's the next chapter in your life, and, how it is that you came to want to contact me, and let them open up and tell you a little bit about how you got there. And what I've found is the newsletter has been a very, very important component in that ability for me to earn their trust, and for them to say, hey, this guy understands the market. I can tell that he's aligned and affiliated with some of the things that we believe, and the organizations in our market that we like, because they've seen me doing lifestyle videos with luminaries and executives within nonprofits in my market, and doing interviews and doing blog posts and articles, and me at those gala events, and me supporting those events, and me writing about the capital campaigns that they have. So the newsletter is a great way to not just talk about the real estate market, but to talk about your market, talk about your resort market. What are the things that are fun to do in your resort market? What would buyers be curious to know why they should choose this beach resort market versus your beach resort market? What are the differentiators? You're not the Chamber of Commerce, but these are the questions that people ask all the time. Why should I, retire here? Why should I buy a second home here? What's great about this market? What's interesting? What's happening? What are the things that are going to happen the next year, 2 years, 5 years? How do you see this market growing? Is this a good investment? Can I do short-term rentals? What are the issues with property management? What are the things I should be concerned about if I'm a homeowner? What are the things I should know about if I'm a seller, right? All these things go into your blog post, go into YouTube videos, part of your market report narrative. All that stuff then gets repurposed as well into your newsletter, right? And then on the you'll see on the right hand side, I have all my listings, and people can easily click on there and see the listing of that home, and so can my seller clients, right? So they get this newsletter also. So anyway, it's been a very, very important tool and a fundamental of my business, and I know that if you spend the time, regardless of how detailed, and let me just say, in the beginning, you don't have to do every single thing that I have in my, you might not have videos yet, so go ahead and you can eliminate that, and just delete those parts of the newsletter, and then come back and use the template later. If you don't have testimonials at the bottom that you want to put in there, you can strive to get better testimonials, so you can put those in there. Whatever the components are, if you don't have a ton of listings, you can delete the ones that, I have 36 listings, and so that's quite a bit in my market. But put the ones in there, or feature the ones, or make them a little bit taller, or whatever it is. But the point of the newsletter is all the components are there, and those are the things that I have done that have endeared me to a lot of affluent clients, and have gotten a lot of people to contact me. And it's a simple thing to do. Really, you're hitting the enter key one time, whether it goes out to 10 people, or 100 people, or 1,000 people, or 3,000 people. However many people you have in your email distribution list, that's up to you. And I would encourage you to try to collect as many emails as you have. Or if you're at a gala event and you might ask permission, hey, here's my business card. Would you mind if I jot down your email address? You ask me about the real estate in our market. I'd be happy to put you on my email distribution list. I'd be happy to send you my monthly newsletter with a detailed market report. And it's very informative. You might enjoy it, but if you don't, feel free to unsubscribe. right? So that's an easy way to utilize this tool in your business. So I can't wait to get started with you and have you go through these modules. There's a lot of video here. There's a lot of how-to, so you can replicate the things that I'm doing, and you can do them in your business. I'll see you on the inside.